Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are enjoying a good day. Today we got a talk about ARRI, which was something else that was also uh, that news that broke during the week of NAB that I didn't get a chance to get to talk about because of the hectic production schedule I had. But we obviously have to talk about it. So if you're still living under a rock and you're later than either me, ARRI has now officially been sold off to another company. It's to a privately owned broadcast company. I forgot the name of it right now, but I'll leave the link to it. But it is a German broadcast production company, and they sort of did a little interview with Cine D, going over everything. So I'll leave a link to the interview with Cine D in the description below. This was something that was hinted at. It's something we talked about. Now, obviously, us filmmakers, news cycles started breaking about who's going to acquire it, and obviously, a lot of people started thinking of the big camera brands: Panasonic, Nikon, Sony, Canon. Who was going to buy it? I always was of the mindset when ARRI was in talks of being sold. I always of the mindset that I really hope that none of the publicly traded, which is Canon, Sony, Panasonic, Nikon. I really didn't want none of the publicly traded companies to acquire ARRI, because I wanted it, if a company was to acquire it, I was hoping it would be something like Blackmagic Design. Not necessarily because I thought Blackmagic, like I'm some fanboy Blackmagic, even though I love Blackmagic, but because Blackmagic was a privately owned company. That was sort of the big deal for me, because because unfortunately the thing is, when you become a publicly traded company, the top priority and the top needs to be addressed go to investors in your board before customers and things like that. The other thing I didn't want it to do was like some hedge funds, companies that would, and some like big financial firms to buy it. That was the other thing. And luckily, none of that happened. Now, and it was actually a privately owned company that went and bought ARRI. And it looks like based on the initial steps that they've announced with this new incorporation of the Alexa cameras into broadcast services and broadcast environments, this sort of gives a hint at where the direction it looks like right now, where ARRI is going to be taking. And this is a very interesting one. They're still going to be used and be sought after. That's not going to change anytime soon. What is clear now is that there's going to be this sort of increase, trying to figure out how to increase ARRI into more broadcast environments, which they already kind of had with their AMIRA cameras and some of their other sets of cameras that are not necessarily cinema focused. So they already had a foothold. So it will be interesting to see. And clearly, I think it's going to be like high broadcast environments. I don't think you're going to start seeing like broadcast on a more smaller market scale. And I think that's sort of the thing some people are thinking about. It's like, is this meaning, ARRI is going to start making like more affordable cameras? I don't know. That is really an unknown. But if ARRI start getting into that, I think the prestige of ARRI would lose its prestige if that was to happen. Me personally, because that's one of the things about it. It's the fact that it's been designed and built for the top echelon of filmmaking. It would be really, really, really odd to see it be in sort of a more accessible market, which, look, we all would love it. As filmmakers, we all would love it. It would get us, but there would be some mystique and some prestige. It's human condition is weird. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I will say it's kind of a mix, because I'm very, very happy that it is still remaining in a private company. It's still owned by a private German company, I might add. So it's still held within, you could say, relatively similar cultures and or similar history. So there's that. However, this is a whole new area of people that are in a completely different sphere and different areas where different needs are looked at than what ARRI typically would be used for this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this new relationship and this new ownership is going to unfold. But I am curious to see, and to see where this sort of will take them in terms of cinema, into the cinema world as well. But honestly, just like Red, when Nikon acquired them, it's going to take a while before we actually see what the development, what this will actually unfold. So I'm sort of at a wait and see, which is, I think, the best approach that everybody should take. But I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know, are you guys excited about the new ownership of ARRI? Are you concerned? What are your thoughts? I would like to know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.